Kenmore. Doors will open on the left.
And the biggest news of the past week is that Roman Anthony has been extended. 8 years, $130 million, which with a bunch of escalators. So how are we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped. Obviously, this was something that was going to be looming over all of our heads for the foreseeable future, especially for the rest of this year after Jacob Wilson hits the IL with a broken forearm, I think it is. So that puts Roman in not the leader in the clubhouse, but the leader in the clubhouse to come in second behind Nicholas Kurtz for Rookie of the Year, which of course would have given him the extra year of service time and left the Red Sox with nothing. Now you don't have to worry about that. Obviously, the escalators in the deal include where he finishes in Rookie of the Year and also MVP voting moving forward. But I'm happy to see them finally get it done. And I know that there were clips going around social media, some of the radio scene being like, oh, like this is because they're cheap. Like, no, this is not because they're cheap. Because if they were cheap, they would have played out the arbitration process for however many years, but it would have been 3 years until he hits ARB. And then they would have paid him $4 million, $7 million, $15 million, $30 million, and then they would have traded him. But this is them getting ahead of it, doing what the Braves did to build their World Series core with Acuna and locking down a guy that they think is going to be a stud for the next 9 years. And it works out nicely for Roman, too, because he's going to hit the open market potentially at age 31. So he's still going to be in a really good position to cash in there. Like, even if he hits all the escalators and banks 200 mil, like he could be a $400-500 million player, maybe even more, depending on the landscape of the sport in 9 years. Like he could end up making like $600-700 million over the course of his career, even still.
Yeah, and the impressive part is this shows a mindset shift in the Red Sox front office, because obviously we saw Mookie Betts, they played that out and ended up trading him to the Dodgers, where fans were absolutely furious about this. And the Roman Anthony situation had the potential to get to that point. Obviously, it was a long time down the road, but nothing about the front office approach had shown us that they were going to do anything different up to this point. And like the point you were mentioning about the certain radio people talking about how this was a silly extension, none of those top prospects earned those extensions before they got them. Jackson Churio got one. Julio Rodriguez got one. Ronald Acuna, like you mentioned, got one. You're paying for the potential. And
Luis
ultimately,
Robert,
yeah, and ultimately, I think he'll be worth way more than that by the time this contract expires. So to me, it's an absolute steal.
Yeah, that's what my buddy texted me when he saw that clip. He was like, breaking news, the Red Sox extend Roman Anthony, and now for instant reaction, 2 guys who don't watch the games. Like
awesome.
It is something like for that to be the immediate reaction. But you mentioned the shift in philosophy. I mean, the Mookie extension, that like we know they made him offers, but it was too late. They made him an offer of 10 and 300 when he was 2 years away from hitting the open market. At that point, he might as well wait. You could argue they even waited too long with Rafael Devers. I mean, you were forced to give him $313 whatever million, and if you had done it 2 or 3 years earlier, it would have cost you significantly less than that. And then that deal wouldn't have looked as bad. And it wouldn't have been like, oh, like we have to find someone to take this deal when trading him. Like for them to be proactive about it and lock him in at a really, like, I'm going to call it a team-friendly number because I think that's what it's going to work out to be. But it's encouraging to see. They've done it multiple times now, first with Rafaela and Bayo, and then with Campbell, and now Roman. And I assume that Marcelo, once he gets right and starts hitting the ball, is going to be hopefully right behind those guys.
And that's the biggest thing, is locking up that young core, especially you add Crochet in there if you want to put him in that same conversation. This whole championship core that you feel like you're building right now is signed for the foreseeable future, and they're all taking pretty big steps forward aside from Christian Campbell. Even Campbell has been producing way more in AAA right now. I imagine we'll see him back in the major leagues at some point, probably in September, maybe end of August as well. But the future of this team was very much in doubt. And Will Fleming and Will Middlebrooks were talking about something. And I think it's very, very pertinent here because a lot of fans didn't really have any players that they could gravitate towards. You didn't have that player for the past couple of years where you had rentals, Tyler O'Neill, Duvall, people like that, who you wanted to buy jerseys of, who you knew were going to be here for the foreseeable future. Now you got guys like Crochet, Bayo, Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, all these guys who you can slot into your lineup for the next 7-8 years and be comfortable buying their jerseys. I think that's a big thing that maybe people aren't talking about as much.
Yeah, I mean, even like not as much this year, because now you're seeing those players, like you mentioned, like get locked up and be worth going to the team store and spending $250 on a jersey of. But you see Mookie jerseys, you see Ortiz jerseys, you see Pedro jerseys. I mean, for the last however many years, I've been recycling my Xander jersey. First, it was a Justin Turner jersey. Then it was a Dom Smith jersey. Now it's an Alex Bregman jersey. And it's finally, for once, like I've been saying for the last however many years, that I was probably going to end up with a jersey each of Meyer, Campbell, and Anthony. But like I'm going to probably go out and buy a Anthony City Connect jersey like as soon as I can, like because we know he's here. Like, and it's a little bit easier with those young guys because you know that they're here for at least 6 years. But like you mentioned, like Tyler O'Neill, Adam Duvall, like those were fine players, but they're not guys that you're rushing to get jerseys of. And aside from Devers, they didn't have that guy. Like Sale's another one that you could have had, but again, like he was not really on the field ever. So like, yeah, you can get a Chris Sale jersey, but like you're going to wear it when he's on the injured list, which is like through no fault of his own, but it's just an unfortunate like fact of the matter. Like it's finally they have guys that are worth going out and spending the inordinate amount of money that they're looking for jerseys.